Every marriage and long-term relationship is going to have some hard, rocky times that the parties will need to navigate together. However, just because your relationship is unhappy now, it doesn't necessarily mean that this is the new status quo, especially if both partners are committed to making it work. If not, then obviously you're fighting a losing war, and perhaps you need to reconsider your position and have a bit of a reality check. And no, I'm not saying you should immediately give up, but perhaps seek specialist help as a couple. We've actually made videos about couples therapy before, so if that's something that troubles you, check out the video, the link is up here. So obviously, if you know that the love is still there and both of you are willing to work out on your relationship, it would be unwise to give up on your marriage or your long-term relationship just because it's unhappy right now. Instead, you should ask yourself, the best way to fuel your happiness is to focus on things that are important to you but are not harmful to the already rocky relationship. By focusing on self-improvement and fulfilling activities for yourself, you can help strengthen your resolve and well-being, which will carry through into your relationship. Here are my 5 tips to get you through it unscathed. Do you have any solo hobbies? Are there any solo hobbies that you've always wanted to try but never found the right opportunity to do so? Now's an excellent time to dive right into them. Give yourself some time away from the stress of your unhappy marriage. Those small breaks where you can focus on something else, learn something new, and have some reprieve from the stress can help keep you in a happier mental space. Self-improvement is a great way to build your self-esteem and personal happiness. Find an exercise routine that works well for you and make it a regular part of your life. Now is easier than ever before, and you don't even have to go to the gym to be fit. No equipment is needed. With just your will, dedication, and persistence, you can achieve physical improvement with no problem. Or perhaps learn to meditate, follow some guided meditations, work on fixing the personal problems that are preventing you from living a happier life. There are likely things that you want to work on that your partner can't participate in, which makes that an excellent time to take the necessary steps and take yourself to the next level. There are times when something breaks in a relationship that takes a long time to put back together. You may find yourself fighting with your partner in circles over a particular thing, and that argument never seems to go anywhere. At some point, you have to decide whether or not the particular battle is worth fighting over. Circular arguments with no end in sight drain your valuable emotional energy and happiness. That doesn't mean that you should just let everything slide, mainly if there's a significant problem to be addressed. It does, however, mean learning to identify whether or not an argument is productive. For most of us, life is busy. Marriage, work, kids, and the general responsibilities of life. Sometimes it feels like days fly past without any spark of novelty, no surprises, routine in and out, day by day. It's easy to find yourself pruning out unessential activities to try to make time for everything you need to do. A mistake that many people in long-term relationships make is that they do not prioritise keeping their social life intact. They feel that everything else, all the duties they have now, needs to take priority and push their social life aside. Essentially becoming working drones that throughout life without any variety of joy, without the necessary interactions with others outside the close circle of your family. Look, it's time to snap out of it. Your partner is not a suitable replacement for having other social relationships. People are social creatures. They need other friends and people to socialise with. Loneliness is an insidious affliction that slowly saps away happiness, even from people who consider themselves to be introverts. This is essentially a speedy way to feeling lonely in a marriage. A marriage is a big commitment that will take up a big part of your mind and emotions. I know that for many of you who may be watching this, marriage is this idealistic objective in your pursuit of love, the cherry on the top of your relationship that's to seal the fate of the love and happiness together forever. And while marriage can be all that, it's also prudent to take off the rose-tinted glasses and face up to the fact that marriage can equally bring in a lot of issues that by definition never existed before it. Therefore, it's reasonable to be unhappy that your marriage is unhappy, that you can do things to help maintain some happiness and peace of mind while you're working through the rocky times. It's essential to not fall into a pattern of avoidance about fixing the relationship. It's easy to distract and focus on oneself too much to the detriment of marriage or commitment. The problem won't get resolved just by ignoring them. They will fester and eventually come back to the surface, more painful and difficult than before. This type of self-care and preservation of one's happiness is great in moderation, but there will be this unpleasant work of actually working through the issue that your marriage is experiencing. If you don't feel you're making headway with your partner, it may be a good idea to speak to a marriage counsellor who can better guide you through the process of repairing the relationship and rekindling what brought you together in the first place. A good place to get help is the link in our description, where you can contact one of our relationship counsellors, either via phone, video, or instant message. While you can try and work through the situation yourself or as a couple, it may be a bigger issue than self-help can fix. And if it's affecting your mental well-being, it's a significant thing that needs to be resolved. Too many people, both couples and individuals, try to muddle through this and do their best to solve problems that they never really get to grips with. If it's all possible in your circumstances, speaking to a relationship expert is 100% the best way forward. One thing to bear in mind is that unrealistic expectations of a perfect happy marriage can make you more unhappy than you need to be. Accepting that there will always be some little nibbles can help you find peace with reality rather than trying to fight against it. Not all unhappy marriages are worth ending, but there are times when things just get too difficult to fix. If you married young, you might find that you and your partner have grown to be different people in two different directions. You may find that common ground that brought you together is no longer there. And that's okay, that sometimes happens. Then there are other matters which can irreparably break a marriage. Abuse and infidelity cause damage that leaves deep wounds that can be impossible to work through or heal as a couple. In that kind of scenario, the better option may be divorce. If this is serious, it would be a good idea to talk to a counsellor about the situation before making any final decision. Alright guys, I really hope this episode helped you get through the tough times you may be experiencing in your relationship. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to give us a like, and this is something you have already gone through and would love to share your personal experience or offer some advice, please do so in the comment sections below. Other than that, subscribe and I'll be seeing you in the next one. Bye!